Swag Radio. Swagger all day, baby.
Swagger all day, baby. You know. It's your boy Trainers in the Black Knight, aka Ashy Knuckles. And I'm here with my sister, man. Miss Staxcadero Staxy. What's up, baby? How you? How
What's
the
going
hell
on,
are
Big
you?
Train? How are
Hey,
you?
ain't nothing, man. I just got finished getting my lips greasy. I was all excited because I knew I was about to interview you, talk to you, bust it up. You got so much stuff going on. I don't even know where to start. But
Me.
let's do like a Pulp Fiction thing. Let's talk about the latest things you did, and then we'll rewind it. So,
Okay.
yeah. So what was the last project you worked on?
Hmm. The last project that I worked on was the screening for my film, I Am Relentless, the movie.
All right. So how what happened? What's going on with that?
Well, right now what I'm doing is private screenings,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to be in the house when people react to the movie for the first few times, just to see,
Right.
in a room of my peers and the actors' family and their peers, and just get a real response,
Mm-hmm.
from people that know and love film. I
Indeed.
wanted to see, up close and personal what the reaction would be, and it's been all love. So I'm excited. So we're going to do it again on September 17th, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
also going to do it in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
and in Miami. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
We plan. God plans best.
Yes, sir. All we can do is put it out there, and then pray
That's
that
it.
the most high let us do what we gonna do. But tell them what the movie's about.
Okay, so the movie is based on my life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's adapted from a memoir that I wrote, which is also entitled I Am Relentless. And it came about because prior to the pandemic happening, I was rehearsing for a one-person show.
Get out of
So
here.
I wanted to release the book,
Right.
and do the one-person show in March. So we were good. We were selling tickets. Everything is wonderful. COVID-19 happens and shut everything down.
That's what it did. It shut everything down.
And yeah, so I had a moment to sit down, and while I sat, I picked the book back up maybe like in November, because for quite some time I had to find other things to do. So I was doing like online
Mm-hmm.
acting classes to keep myself sharp,
Mm-hmm.
doing readings for different upcoming plays, writing films with people, filming. So still keeping myself active and creative. And then like every once in a while I would pick up the memoir
Right. Right.
because I didn't put it out. I was really
Indeed.
discouraged with COVID-19 happening and us being like locked in the house. It was a
Mm-hmm.
lot for everybody.
For everybody.
So you had to really challenge yourself to stay busy.
Indeed. But if
So
you was a creative person like yourself, then it wasn't the end of what be all. It just made you tap into your bag, right?
after a while I tapped into my bag, but initially I think like everybody else, I was just like hypnotized by the news and like
Yeah.
thinking the worst for a little while, like, damn, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah. We didn't know what to expect.
like,
Yeah.
are we gonna make it out?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think everybody started thinking like that. But towards the end of the year, I started picking the book back up more.
Right. Right.
Towards the end of 2020, I started picking it back up more. And there was a challenge that was online. It was called Show Up and Shine Challenge. And what you had to do is challenge yourself to show up and shine every day for 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So all you have to do was just enter your name and like make a video saying what you were going to do that day to show up and shine for yourself.
Right.
Like what is it that you would like to do, and how you like to progress, and what steps can you take to achieve that goal?
Right. Right.
And so you put your name in, and people would win $500 just for that. Every day,
Right.
people were winning for 21 days, winning $500.
Wow. That's sweet like taco
So
meat. That's sweet like taco meat right there.
it was. So
Indeed.
on the seventh day, I actually won. And even
Okay.
before that, I said, but on that day, there's, power in words. So the
Mm.
reason why I brought it up is because when you say out of your mouth what you want to happen for yourself, it
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Yeah. Manifest in
It's
words. Yep.
right, exactly. So what I
Mm-hmm.
said was by the end of this 21-day challenge, I'm going to have my book in my hand.
That's what's up.
Mistakes, flaws and all, the
Right.
book was in my hand.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
And they were like, wow, you did it,
Yeah.
and I did the challenge again this year, and I
Mhm.
also won again. And just like that, when I said, in June, by June, I'm going to, I'll be ready to show the movie, and we showed it in July.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm just going to keep manifesting forward.
Who's some of the talented people you worked with in this process?
Well, there are two young ladies that I worked with, Shauna Lee
Hmm.
and Madison Gibbs. And I came about working with Shauna Lee because I was on a project with her a few years ago. I was directing her. We
Hmm.
were in rehearsals, and so I had an opportunity to see her after her audition and see like how driven she was, to make it, and how she could challenge herself to be emotional. And I really liked that about her. And I said, I'm going to work with you. And
Okay.
so it was a couple of years, that
Hmm.
had passed, but I kept in contact with her. And when I was going to do the one person show, there's some really touchy scenes in the book. And a friend of mine said, maybe you should really reconsider whether or not you want to do this on stage every night. Why don't you film it? So I had Shauna Lee come, and she filmed that for me.
Okay.
And then when it came time for me to film, I said, why not still work with her? She had already read the book. She loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, how would you like to portray me in a movie? She was like, oh my God, Stacks, I would love that. And
Awesome.
so she was saying, oh my God, Stacks, I would love that. And it just worked out where she was actually able to
Just
grasp the script and make it
she
happen.
became one with it, huh? She just felt it.
She
Right.
did.
Awesome.
Yeah, she did.
That's
And then
good.
the other young lady, um, I'm sorry, can you just give me 1 second?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
We're gonna take a commercial break, and then when we come
What's
back
it?
from the commercial, and then
All right.
we'll finish what you were talking about. All right.
All right, we'll be right back. I'll be right here when you come back.
That's right. Swag Radio. This is how we do it, baby.
What's up, it's Angela Yee from The Breakfast Club on Power 105.1, and you are checking out Swag Magazine.
Yeah, you already know who it is, nigga. Yeah, got the album out. Welcome to Philadelphia. You already know what it is. Shout out to Swag Magazine.
Make sure y'all show support Philadelphia. We in the building. Spark up. Need to spark some out. Swag Magazine. I love y'all. Every time I have some of y'all come out and support, I love Swag Magazine. You guys really support me. Make sure y'all go get it with me on the cover. It's only right. Look at that. Married to Hip Hop. Look at that pretty face.
So to the real, you got a live Philly Hip Hop Awards, Swag Magazine. Still got that swag on any city top one.
You're now tuned in to Swag Radio, one of the hottest radio sites out right now. It's Lee Mason, live in the studio. They kicked it with me all day.
Mic check 1 2 1 2 215 Philadelphia in the house. Hey, this is Jermaine Bryson, aka the Husky Bruiser,
This is Trevane Bryson, aka Pockets.
and we are Mosaic Flow, and you're checking out Swag Magazine.
The future of radio. This is how we do it, baby.
We back. You know what I'm saying? Swag Magazine, the Swag Radio, your boy Train Trizzle. And we with my girl, Miss Staxy.
Hey.
So love, finish off where you left off. We was talking about the two young ladies, the second young lady and her role and what she, brought to the table.
Okay, so I needed a younger lady to play me. And so Madison Gibbs is a dancer in my sister's dance company, Something Untouchable. And I just asked them because I had worked with a group of young ladies over the summer of, I think, 2020. I had worked with some young ladies, and I said, I need a little girl that kind of favors me. And so they said Madison, she was the closest one that favored me, and her mom was excited about it. She's like, oh my God, yes. So, we worked with her. This is her first time acting. I think that she did a really good job. Like I said, there was some challenges, within the story. And so for her to take that on, whether she could identify with it or not, I thought was really big. So I'm really proud of her. I did something out of the ordinary. and that was having three female directors, including myself. So with the one person show, which all of this is where all of this comes from, with the one person show, I didn't want it to be monotone. That's like having an album with just one producer to me.
Yeah, you wanted to have layers.
So I didn't want it to just have like one sound.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not a flat person like that. I don't have a flat personality. So I needed a combination. Right. So I gave, a couple monologues here, a couple monologues there, a couple monologues there. And so I said, even though we're not doing the one person show right now, I didn't think that, no shade to anybody else that does it. Right. And it hasn't been done in a while. But if it's a biopic, you can't really play yourself and see. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like you can't really tell your story if you're in it. And so people were like, nah, you can. I'm like, I'm going to give the work to somebody else. I'm going to let somebody else shine. My name doesn't have to be on every written, starring, produced, direct. But I can share and let somebody else, have a come up. And I think that I did a great job in casting the actors, as well as in trusting the directors that I had, and they're all African American.
Okay, all right. So sexual assault and perseverance was a big part of it, right?
Sexual assault was definitely a part of it. That's definitely explained in detail in the book. And there is a scene in there which made people uncomfortable, but I felt like it was done tastefully.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely know what happened. It's obvious that this is what happened. But I felt as though it was done tastefully. And there were some people that questioned, why would I discuss it? Because it's a part of my life.
Right.
It wasn't one time, it was twice.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate, but you have to look at who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always aware of my surroundings. I'm always aware of who I allow in my space and in my company.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of women that approached me after reading the book.
Of course. Right. Mm-hmm.
They were like, Stacks, and they even looked a little haunted. As some of them, looked a little haunted, like, and they had questions, but they were afraid to talk to me.
Everybody handles trauma differently,
They do.
You have to be, you have to find some strength from within to be able to deal with it in face on, so you can don't let it control you, but you get control over it.
Yeah, listen, I went to counseling for it. And I actually didn't receive any counseling for it until I was an adult. What was happening was there was someone that I was working with, and he was really doing the most at work for lack of better words. And so my coworker, sexual harassment, those are the words I was looking for. She was like, do you feel like he's sexually harassing you? Do you want to sue him? And I'm like, damn, like this is my only bread and butter. As a single parent, that's how you think. Unfortunately, you think of survival. So not so much that I wanted to be in that predicament. I'm thinking
responsibilities.
I gotta feed my kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta feed my kids. And so she's like, well, you would be okay. And I'm thinking, not if I start going back and forth to court, if I fall behind, like, you just start thinking this way. It's always survival first, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately. Right.
And so, but what she did do was she directed me to counseling.
Okay.
And so I worked on a few things, while I was there. Because as he was doing this, making me uncomfortable at work and only looking at me like, a piece of candy every time I came in there, I was dealing with my youngest daughter's father, who decided that he was just going to vacate his responsibilities, period, when she was 3 weeks.
Ooh. Yeah.
So at this time, my daughter's 5 months, and I'm still dealing with coming back from saying, yeah, I'll allow my oldest daughter to live with her dad. And I'm, because I had the Libra scales going on, where it's like, damn, I got one guy that wants to take care of his daughter, and I got one dude over here that doesn't want to do anything. And it's an 8-year difference.
Right. Mm.
So I allowed my oldest daughter to have the life that me and her father talked about, you know, the house, the dog, the picket fence, living in the suburbs, you know, coming out of the hood. And
Right.
then with this one, you know, 100% on me, and she's still 100% on me, 100%, you know, a product of hustling and getting it.
Right.
You know, she's a very passionate person, very driven, creative person. I see a lot of me in her.
The apple didn't fall too far from the tree.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
So that's all. That's a story about endurance, perseverance, and strength. You know,
It is.
and that's why so many women, after reading it, reached out to you, because they want to adopt that strength. They want to know through you. They want to know how they can gain that same strength. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. So I'm glad
I
you
would definitely say it's day by day, and there's going to be a lot of times when you question yourselves. It's just like anything where you try, you fail, you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think just trying, if you try, you're successful because you tried.
Indeed. That's the success right there. I mean, the fact that you just got up and tried, you know, you don't got to beat the champ. You just think that you got in the ring with the champ. You was throwing them bows, you know, you trying to tap him out too. That's the success. Well, what some of our viewers don't know, you know, Stacks has played all over Swag Radio because she's an artist too. And they talk about the earliest Stacks and the things that you were able to get into and what you was a part of. Because I remember watching Apollo and watch you go in there and tear it down, you know.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
So that's also shown in the film, you know, my love of hip hop and kind of where it goes. So it just kind of touches on everything. But for me, for us sitting here chopping it up, the very first time I think the very first time that I heard hip hop, it was probably like the Sugar Hill Gang. I remember my mom having a record, and it was like a light blue label, and it was like this
that little
the
candy
Sugar
thing
Hill.
on
It was like a rainbow Sugar Hill, right?
Yeah, that's
like
my
Sugar
first
Hill
album.
Records. It was like a rainbow. It looked like candy.
Candy, yeah.
And then I remember I used to always, I think my love of writing and songwriting and stuff like that for hip hop also came from like reading Curtis Blow lyrics.
Okay.
And just reciting them.
Right.
And then I would do that with El DeBarge too. Well, not just El DeBarge, but the DeBarge family. It was a fascination for me to be able to pull, to pull the record out of the album cover and read the lyrics. Like that was golden to me to be able to do that. Okay. And to look at everybody that they thanked. I was always really fascinated with that.
Right.
So the very first time that I actually said, hey, this is what I want to do, one of my friends, she was listening to Roxanne Shante. We were on the cheese bus, right? Because we were in the gifted classes. We were always going on these science trips, and we would amuse ourselves, you know, talking and carrying on. So she's listening to this girl, and she's just nodding her head. I'm like, yo, what you listening to? She's like, hold on. But she let me hear, and it was Roxanne Shante. And for like a week or so, something was just in me. It's stirring. I couldn't understand what it was. And one day, science teacher took someone called him out into the hallway. You know, the teacher gets excused. They go out in the hallway to get rowdy. So they start banging on the table. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm writing. And I'm just up, and I just start rhyming right there in front of the class. They was like, oh.
Surprise.
Yeah. But I surprised me and surprised them at the same time, because I was like, yo, where did that come from?
How did that feel? That just is like,
amazing. It felt amazing. And so from there, I just continued to write. But like initially, there were some friends of mine. We lived in the same building, and we were calling ourselves the ice cream team. So one girl was vanilla, I was butter pecan, the other girl was chocolate. So, you know, we would go to like everybody in the projects and rhyme for them. So we would all start rhyming together, and then they would fade to black and leave me standing there rhyming by myself. I'm like, yo, where did I go? So, but the very first time that I really performed, there was a contest around my way, and it was for $150. And I'm like, I was dancing for a rapper at the time, and I thought he was like a big deal because he had a record deal. You know, that was like a big thing to get a record deal.
Hell yeah.
What I know now is that people was just getting shelves
They
because
was
they
getting-
never promoted him.
Yeah, some people was getting
They
shoved.
signed him, and he was a tax write-off, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
what he told me was, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. And I was like, I ain't ready. So initially my feelings was hurt, but then I was like, I'm going anyway. So I had my friend come, and I'm like, yo, we gonna audition, and you gonna be my hot dog, like, you know, like for like how Chubb Rock had hot dog. I said, you gonna be hot dog. So she was like, all right. So we both went in there, we auditioned. I got it, we excited. I do the show, and we won.
Awesome.
And I prayed on it though, but I prayed and I was like, God, if this is not for me, just let them boom me off the stage. I'm not even gonna go back. Right. I ain't even gonna go back. But I mean, from there, every time I got on the stage, I always prayed, if it wasn't for me, just let the audience let me know that it's not for me. Right. You know, so we went on to do like the amateur nights at the Apollo, and the DJ for that group called me. Actually, I was sitting right there, and he got a call that someone canceled doing Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, I got somebody sitting. You want to do Showtime at the Apollo? And I was like, yeah. He was like, I got somebody right here, the female rapper. She's good. And I was like, and next I had my date. We planned everything out, and that's how it happened. And that happened, I graduated in June from high school. It happened in November.
Wow.
And
you was up there like a true vet, you know. The confidence was there and everything. You just looked like you wasn't shaken by the moment, you know.
No, you know why? Because I had already been on the stage a number of times, you know, and I felt like I was ready. I felt like I was ready. Did I have a whole lot more to go? Absolutely.
That's what's up.
You know, and even now, like I feel like now, even though I'm mature, there are still people that could still relate to what I would have to say to them, because they can identify, you know, with the story the same way they hear Mary. Why couldn't they be able to hear me?
It was awesome how you put it all together, you know.
Yeah.
And so now people can understand the beginning to now. You know, we also too shout out to my brother, man, super producer Demo Wet, because we met him. He told us about you, and we was like, oh yeah, when we was doing the print magazines, and when we met you, we were just like, she's freaking awesome, man. This woman right here is the real deal. And shout out to my big sister, Big N, because her favorite song is What's Good. You know what I'm saying? So, and Stacks, and you know, you play on Swag Radio, and you know, you got a lot of people that asked about, well, who's that? I love that song, or I love that song. So you know, we're just blessed to have the opportunity to work with you too on our end. You know what I mean? So
it's always been a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure. And with Demo Wet and I have been working for a number of years, and he is one of the most consistent and respectful and knowledgeable persons that I know in music. I can always rely on him, calling him and say, hey, I got something that's you know, that I need to record. Can I come over there? It's to the point now where I can hear a whole record in my head. I can't play, but I could tell you every instrument that I hear.
Right.
And he's like, all right, come on. What else you hear? Come on. So we in the lab, like really.
Right.
We in the lab really creating. And D and I are we're releasing a single. And it's the title track to the movie, and it's called Struggling. And that's also going to be released in September. So I'm excited.
All right. That's what's up. So we're excited too. We can't wait to see what else Miss Stacks got to offer the world, and you know, share with us. And you know, we're here for you, Swag Magazine and Swag Radio. Please give them your social media, let them know how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your book, how they can see the movie, the play, whatever. So let them know real quick.
Whew. Okay, so to stay in the know of what I'm doing, I would definitely say to follow me on Instagram. I'm always on there. at Stacks Cordero, STAXXCORDERO. That's the best way to catch me. The best way for you to stay in the know. I Am Relentless, the book, can be found on Amazon.com. The movie, I'm Manifesting, will be on the platform, and hopefully 2023, everyone else can see it on their screens whenever they get ready, and it's accessible via that remote. That's what we're going for. Aside from that, I'm going to show it in September in Harlem, and I'm also going to show it in Atlanta in November, as well as November in Miami, Atlanta and Miami in November.
Beautiful.
Oh, real quick, the month of October, Domestic Violence Month, I'm in a play which is called Man of the House, and I'll be sharing the stage with Monifa and C. King. C. King is one of the newest comedian entertainers to get signed to Wildin' Out, hilarious brother, as well as Pretty Ricky and Andre Davis. He's the writer, producer, director on this great film.
Oh, you
I
got
mean,
some talent.
well, I'm speaking film, the play.
Right,
so.
the play. Some talented people involved in that. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
man.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, sis. We love you over here at Swag Magazine and Swag Radio all day, every day.
I love y'all too.
On the planet.
Swag Radio. Swagger all day, baby.